everyone, Amanda here. Today we're going to be doing a balance and core workout on the mat. Let's get started with our warm-up. Sit up nice and tall in a cross-legged position. Bring your upper arms in front with your upper arm parallel to the floor, and then pull back in a W, squeezing through the shoulder blades as you pull. Sit up as tall as you can, lifting that chest up toward the ceiling. Exhale as you pull, squeezing through those shoulders. 2 more here. 1 left. And let's take this into a push. Pushing up, pulling down. Exhale up, inhale down. Brace through the core. Sit up as tall as you can, working through those postural muscles in the upper back. Breathing deeply. 2 more here. Almost there. And lower the arms down. From here, place your fingertips just behind your ears, lift the chest, and let's rotate gently over to the right side, about 45 degrees. Back to the center, over to the left side. Exhale as you twist, and inhale as you bring it back to the middle. Breathing deeply. Bracing through the core, standing up as tall as you can. 1 more on either side. And relax the arms down. From here, we are going to take this into a bridge position. So, feet flat on the mat. Lower your head, neck, and shoulders down. You can have your hands at either side for an added base of support. Let's lift the hips up. Now we're going to add some balance into this move. Make sure that your left leg is planted because we're going to extend that right leg out with the heel pushed out. Drive the back of your shoulder blades down into the mat, and let's slowly lower that heel down toward the floor. Slow, slow, just touch down and then bring it back up quickly. Let's go slowly lowering, keeping those glutes elevated, bracing through the core, touch down and bring it up. We're going for 4 here, nice and slow. Don't let your hips drop. Keep the hips boosted, touch down. 1 more here, nice and slow. Breathing deeply, slowly lowering that leg. Touch down, bring it up. Bring that right leg in. Once again, boost those hips. Extend the left leg out. Drive the back of the shoulders down into the mat. And let's lower for 4 slowly. Nice and slow here, lowering that leg down. Keeping the hips elevated. When your heel touches the floor, just graze the mat and back up. Nice and slow here. Keeping those hips boosted. Balancing through the trunk. 2 more here. Breathing through it. Pull the belly button in. Keep the hips elevated. We've got 1 more. Slowly lowering it down. Keep those hips up. Don't let the glutes drop. Touch the heel down to the mat and back up. Lower the feet down. Lower your hips down and just give your shoulders and hips a little shake. Let's bring the legs up, heels toward the ceiling, arms at either side, and then gently push your lower back down into the mat. We're going to alternate, slowly lowering the legs down, starting with the right. Here we go. Right side. 8. Bring it back up. Left side. Heel pushed out, nice and slow here. 7. Don't forget about that lower back. Keep pushing your lower back down into the floor. We're strengthening those core muscles here, but we're still focused on that balance. Breathing through it, slowly lowering that leg down. Bring it back up. Slowly lower it down. Breathing through. 1 more of each. Inhale as you lower. Exhale as you bring it up. There's 1 left here. Keep this up. and back up. Let's take it back to a bridge. Now we're going to switch up our balance and bridge a little bit. So let's lift those hips up nice and high. Hands on either side for that added base of support. Drive the back of the shoulders down into the mat. From here, remember to keep that left leg stable because we're going to lift that right leg up. We're going to lift the knee, almost like we're doing a high knee here. So we're going to lift, pushing the heel out, bring it up. Now rotate your foot in, almost like you're going to cross your leg, bringing your heel to your thigh, touch, rotate back, and then lower it back down. And we're going to switch the leg. Let's go over to that left side. Bring the knee up, slowly rotate, bringing the heel to touch the thigh, rotate back, and then lower that leg down. Keep those hips elevated. Let's go to that right leg. Lift the knee up, rotate the hip, touch the heel to the thigh, rotate back, and slowly lower it down. Let's go to that left leg. Lift up, nice and high, pulling that knee in, rotate the foot, touch the thigh, back out, slowly lower down. We've got one more of each. Keep those hips elevated. Don't let them drop down. Rotate the foot, back out, slowly lower. One more on the left. Bring that knee up, slowly rotate, back out, and lower it down. Lower your hips down to the mat. Give your hips a little shake. From here, let's take it back to our leg lowers. Bring those legs up, shoulders into the back of the mat. Push your lower back down. Press those heels up toward the floor, and let's alternate in the leg drops. So slowly lower down. We're going for 8 here. Touch the back of the heel down toward the mat and bring it back up. Over to the left leg. Nice and slow. Once again, don't forget about that lower back. You're gently pressing the lower back into the mat, bracing through the core, really squeezing through those abdominals, breathing deeply. 4 more here. 4. Bring it back up. 3. Keep those heels pressed out. Don't forget to flex through those ankles. We've got 2 more. 2. Once again, stay balanced, pressing that lower back down. 1 more here. And 1. Bring that leg up, lower the feet down, and just shake out those hips. Let's turn over onto our side. From here, we're going to do a little bit more hip work. So we're going to extend the bottom leg out with the heel pushed out, and then take your top leg and cross it over with your toes pointing straight forward. Come up onto your forearm and lift your chest. You can use that other hand to just gently support your upper body. Push the heel out on that bottom foot, and we're going to lift the leg off the floor and back down, bracing through the abdominals and lifting through that hip. Let's go for 8. 8. 7. 6. Really squeeze it up here. 5. Keep this up. 4. Pushing that heel out. 3. Get that full range of motion in the hip. 2. Lift up as high as you can. 1. And lower it down. So come to a seated position. Heels on the mat. Lift your chest. Extend your arms out. And then just slightly lean back. From here, we're going to hold this position and draw the arms up next to the ears. Let's raise the arms up. Pull the upper arms back until you feel a stretch. And back down. We're just holding that isometric contraction through the core, balancing through the trunk, keeping the chest lifted, but working through that upper back and shoulder mobility. Keep breathing. 4 more here, nice and slow. 4. We're not rushing through. Think about that balance. 3. Bracing through the abdominals. 2. One more here, you've got this. 1. And lower it down. We're going to flip over onto the other side, again, working that hip. So extend the bottom leg, heel pushed out, cross your top leg over so your toe is pointing out, forearm supporting your upper body, and the other hand can just rest gently on the mat. Lift your chest. Push that bottom heel out, and let's lift for 8. Here we go. 8. Now you might find 7, that one side has a little bit better hip mobility than the other. You might find one side a little tighter or a little harder to lift up higher. So just work within the range of motion that feels right for your hip. 3 more. 3. Keep this up. 2. One more here. 1. Let's go back to that seated position. Heels on the floor, toes up, lean back, extend your arms out and lift that chest. Let's go for 8 lat raises. Lift up, 8. Maintaining that balance through the core. 7. Breathing through this. 6. Pulling your abdominals in. 5. Working through that range of motion for the shoulders. 4. Pull the shoulders back and down as you bring them up next to the ears. We've got 2 more here. 2. One more. And 1. Lower those arms down. From here, we're going to take this into a kneeling position. As we transition from move to move, feel free to grab a water break as I demonstrate the next movement. We're going to take this into a rear delt fly bird dog. So in the standard bird dog, we will hold wrists directly under the shoulders, knees directly under the hips so that the back is flat. Now typically we would extend opposite arm, opposite leg. But in this move, we're going to perform a delt fly to squeeze through the back of the shoulder with that opposite arm. So starting with your right hand and your left leg, extend your left leg out, pressing the heel out and brace through the abdominals. Now lift through that right arm and pull the shoulder blade back. Bring it down, touch the side of your mat, bring it up, pull the shoulder blade back. Stay as balanced as you can as you squeeze that shoulder. Aiming for shoulder blade retraction every time. 4 more here. 4, keep that heel pushed out and try to pull your abdominals in. 3, 2 more here, stay steady. 2, working through that upper body and the core. 1. All right, bring that hand in, bring that leg in. Let's take it over to the other side. Right leg extended, heel pushed out. Take your left hand, start on the side of the mat, chest out. Let's go for 8. 8. I want you to imagine that there is a water glass right in the center of your spine. As you lift through that shoulder blade, try to keep your back as stable as you can to not spill the glass of water. 3 more here. Exhale. Squeeze the shoulder blade back. Stay balanced. Exhale. 1 more here. And 1. All right, just give your wrists a little shake. We're going to take this into a bear crawl style plank. So in this move, the hands will be flat on the mat, but I like to have my feet off the end of the mat. I think that gives me a little bit better stability. So I'm going to back up just a little bit. Now, coming up onto the toes, the feet are flexed so that I'm just on my toes here and my heels are pushed out. My knees are going to hover just above the mat. So let's lift up, pulling the knees off the floor. And now push your chest into your shoulders, bracing by pulling your abdominals in and holding. You're going to feel this in the quads, in the abdominals, in the chest and shoulders. Keep this up, squeeze. 3, 2, 1, and then lower the knees down. We're going to take this into an individual hover. So keep your feet in that position, hands in that position. we're going to lift the right hand just off the mat. And now the left knee. Hold. Squeeze through the abdominals. Right knee is on the floor, right toes are on the floor. Stay balanced. Pull your belly button in. Balancing here. 2, 1. Lower that hand down. Lift your left hand slightly off the mat, followed by that right knee. Hold and balance. Your gaze should be down toward the mat, just about a foot away from your fingertips. So you're just looking 10 to 12 inches above where your fingers end, keeping the neck neutral. Lower it down and lower back into a stretch. We're gonna go down into that child pose, holding here, just stretching it out before we go into our second round. Getting that lengthening through the lats and the shoulders. And gently lift up out of it. And let's take it back to our bird dog. So I'm just gonna scoot forward on my mat. Once again, we're gonna start with our right hand, left leg. So extend that left leg out, pushing the heel out, maintaining that straight line from the top of the head to the heel, pushing the chest into the shoulders. Start with your fingertips at the edge of your mat, and let's rear delt fly for 8. Here we go. 8, squeezing the shoulder blade back. 7, pull your belly button in. 6, getting that squeeze through the shoulders. 5, while maintaining strong balance. 4, exhale up. 3, you can do it. 2, one more here. 1, lower that right hand down, left leg down, and let's lift. Left arm, right leg. Stabilizing through the trunk, start with your hand just at the side of your mat, and let's go into that delt fly. Heel out, here we go. 8, breathing through. 7, don't forget about that shoulder. I still want you to retract every time. You're getting that full range of motion in the shoulder blade as you lift and pull. 3 more. 3. Exhale. 2. Stay as balanced as you can. 1. Let's take it back to our bear crawl. I'm going to walk my legs back a little bit. Toes on the floor. Hands flat. And my knees are going to hover just above the mat. Let's lift up and push the chest into the shoulder blades. Pull your abdominals in. Brace. We're balancing and bracing through the quads, the glutes, the core, and the shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Lower the knees down. Let's hover the right hand just above the mat, followed by the left knee. Hold. Now pull your belly button in, bracing through the core. Breathe deeply. Try not to wobble too much. 2, 1. Lower it down, other side. Left hand hovering just above the mat, followed by right knee just above the mat. Brace. Pull the belly button in and stay balanced. Breathing through it. And lower it down. Once again, just stretch it out in that child pose stretch, dropping your bum down toward your heels. Drop your head, neck, and shoulders down, lengthening through the lats. Nice big exhale. Breathing through it. And gently lift up out of it. We're going to take this back to our seated position. So in this move, we're going to take it to a flutter kick. We're going to lower the head, neck, and shoulders down toward the mat, and then lift the legs up with the heels pressed up toward the ceiling, hands on either side, and we're going to crisscross, leading with the heels. So the heels will crisscross and then switch. Now, gently press your lower back down. Heels out. Let's go. 8. Pressing that lower back down. 7. 6. 5. 4. Contract the abdominals by pressing the lower back down. Lead with the heels. And lower the legs down. Shake it out. We're going to take this into a hip press down toward the floor. So we're going to push our pelvis down toward the floor as we brace the core. As we press, we're going to exhale forcefully. So once again, place your hands on either side, feet flat on the floor, knees bent. We're going to push that lower back down, exhaling and pressing at the same time. Let's get ready. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale and push your lower back down toward the floor. Bracing through the abdominals. Keep holding. Exhaling. Release the lower back. Inhale. Let's get ready to go again. Exhale. Push the lower back down into the mat. Letting those abdominals contract. There might be a little bit of shakiness here. That's okay. That's totally normal. And release. Inhale. We're going for 2 more here. Exhale. Push the lower back down into the floor. Bracing through the core, holding that contraction, and release. 1 more. Nice big inhale. Exhale. Push the lower back down into the floor, bracing through the abdominals, squeezing, and release. Let's bring those legs back up. Once again, we're leading with the heels in those kicks. So shoulders down, lower back down into the mat, and let's crisscross for 8. 8. 7. 6. Don't forget about that lower back. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Feet down, abdominal bracing with the pelvic tilt. So arms at either side, shoulders relaxed. Let's take a big inhale. Exhale and push the lower back down into the mat. Bracing through the core, exhaling, pushing all the air out of your lungs and release. Big inhale. Exhale. Exhaling forcefully through the mouth. You should actually hear yourself exhale and release. Inhale. Exhale and push that lower back down into the mat, pressing and bracing, letting that tension build and release. 1 more here. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Let's take this up to a seated position. We're going to give our abdominals just a little bit of a break, working through some mobility movement for our posture. So sitting in a cross-legged position, sit up as tall as you can. Extend your arms out with your palms facing up at chest height. From here, we're going to pull in, squeezing the shoulder blades, and then release. So there's a little bit of an arcing motion of the hands as we pull. Let's go for 8. 8. Keep your chin and neck in a neutral position and really get that shoulder blade retraction, pulling through the mid-back and the back of the shoulders as you squeeze. 4 more. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Let's release those arms. From here, we're going to take it to the hamstrings. So in this move, extend your right leg out. Place your left heel just on top of that right leg. From here, walk your hands behind you. Just a soft elbow, soft wrist, and then lift the chest. From here, we're going to stretch the hamstrings while engaging through the abdominals. Let's exhale and push the lower leg, the bottom leg, down toward the mat. So you're going to feel the abdominals bracing here, but you're also going to get a bit of a stretch through that hamstring and a little bit through the calf as well. Lift the chest. Keep pressing that leg down and release the shoulders. Let them round forward. Let's switch it out. Right leg comes on top this time, stacking the heel on top of the toe. Lift your chest, push the heels out, and exhale and press down toward the mat. Once again, we're trying to empty the air out of the lungs, pushing down, bracing through the core. 2, 1, and then release. From here, let's take it back to our mobility move, sitting up as tall as we can, working those postural muscles. We're going to switch it up with palms down this time. Lift the chest, and let's rotate inward, slight arcing motion. 8, getting that pull. 7, squeezing through the mid-back. 6, imagine that there's a string pulling your chest up toward the ceiling, and it's helping you sit up as tall as you can. 3 more. 3, 2, 1 more here. 1, and release the shoulders. Let's take it back to those hamstrings. Extend the legs out. Begin with left foot on top of right. Push the heels out. Hands are just behind you. Lift the chest. Pull the shoulders back. And exhale. Push that bottom leg down into the mat. Bracing through the core. Squeezing. Working through the posture in that upper body. Working through the hamstring and the abdominals. And release. Left foot on the bottom, right foot on top. Once again, lift the chest, rolling the shoulder blades back. Exhale, push that bottom leg down into the mat, bracing through the core. Let that tension build. 2, 1, and release. We're going to turn onto our side once again for some side planks, our last round of core work. So placing your forearm on the mat, bottom knee will be bent and the top leg will be extended with the heel pushed out. So we are going to work on our side plank posture to start. So in this move, oftentimes we have a tendency to just let our weight kind of flop onto that bottom shoulder when we lift those hips, but we want to correct for that. So let's place that hand on the hip, push your hip bones forward, and on that bottom shoulder, push it back. So lift up, pressing the back of the shoulder blade backward, and then lift your hips just a little bit higher. Now that we have strong posture in our side plank, flex through the ankle on that top leg so the heel is pushed out, and let's lift the leg up. Let's go for 8. Here we go. 8, working through that glute. 7, staying balanced. You've got it. 6, breathing deeply. 5, squeeze it up. 4, keep this going. 3, almost there. 2, 1 more here. 1, and lower that leg down. We're going to flip over into a kneeling position. So once again, the back is flat and the chest is out. And we're going to work on our shoulders a little bit. So just walk your hands a little bit wider, almost like you're going to do a kneeling push-up. From here, maintain that flat back position. And we're going to push our chest into the shoulder blades. Ready? Exhale, push the chest into the shoulders and squeeze the shoulder blades back. Now pull your abdominals in, bracing through the core. It's almost like you're holding a push-up in a static position just with that upper body. Pull those abdominals in nice and tight and release. We're going to go once more here. So walk your feet a little wider this time so that your knees are wide and your hands are wide. We're going to try this again. Ready? Exhale, push your chest into your shoulders, and now use your glutes to pull inward. So press your knees in an inward position, bracing through the abdominals. Imagine that your knees are going to pull your mat, almost like you're going to try to ruffle your mat between the knees. And release. Let's take this over to a side plank on the other side. So once again, we're going to correct our side plank posture to start. So that bottom knee is bent, top leg is extended, and we're on that forearm. So typically when we lift up, we tend to be a little flopped inward. Let's rotate back. Open up through that elbow and shoulder. And now lift your hips up a little higher and push that bottom shoulder backward. Flex through the top heel, lift those hips up a little bit, and let's do our glute raises. Here we go. 8, 7. Oftentimes we feel like we can hold the side plank forever, and it's because we're actually using the shoulder to help us stabilize rather than using those obliques. 2 more. 2, 1. And back to that kneeling position. Isometric push-up contraction through the shoulders. So let's walk those hands wide, almost like we're going to do a push-up. Feet are in the narrow position here, so they're just almost like their feet shoulder width apart. From here, inhale, exhale, and push your chest into your shoulder blades. Gently bending through the elbows to accommodate the shoulders and the wrists. Pull your abdominals in. Brace. Hold the contraction, but make sure you're not holding your breath. And release. Let's walk those feet a little wider. So the knees are wide, hands are wide. From here, let's get ready to pull our abdominals in. Exhale and push the chest into the shoulders. Pull the knees inward so that we're creating tension through the glutes and the abdominals. Keep bracing, you're almost there. 2, 1. Whew. All right, let's stretch this out. Pigeon pose. Bring your right knee up so that your right knee will be under your chest and your right heel will be under your left hip. Let's lower the arms down toward the mat, extending through the left leg and just letting that upper body rest on that right knee. Nice big exhale. Drop your upper body weight down onto that leg, really stretching through those glutes. Now, as your hip starts to open up, you can walk your hands a little wider and then drop a little bit more upper body weight down onto that thigh. Just let your chest and shoulders relax down onto that leg. Breathing deeply. Really going deep into that pigeon pose. The glutes can withstand quite an intense stretch, so it should feel moderate to heavy here. We want a pretty decent stretch through that glute. Hips and knees can take it, so that is okay. Gently lift your upper body up slightly. Walk your hands in, up to either side, and bring that right leg back. Left leg forward. Left knee under the chest, left heel under the hip. Let's lower it down, extending through that right leg and just letting your upper body weight drop down onto that glute. As the hip starts to loosen up, you can start to drop a little bit more body weight onto it. So just let your weight shift onto that leg. Nice big exhale. Breathing through. And then walk your hands a little wider and let that upper body weight really drop onto that thigh. Just let your chest and shoulders relax downward. Exhale. Really sinking deep into that pigeon pose, stretching through those glutes. And gently walk the arms in, bring your upper body weight off that leg, walk the hands up, and stretch out the hamstrings. We're gonna come to a seated position, extending one leg out, heel out, toe up, and then just gently lean forward. Now, you don't have to go all the way to your toes in this stretch, just stretching out enough to feel that hamstring. If you'd like to go deeper, you can go all the way to the toes if that feels right for your lower back and hamstrings. Nice big exhale. Sinking that upper body weight downwards so that we're not holding tension in the shoulders as we stretch. Breathing deeply here. And just gently release and slide back up. Let's take it over to the other side. Tuck that leg in Extend the other leg out. Once again, slide forward. You can go to the mid shin, all the way to the toe, whatever feels right for you in this stretch. Heel out, toe up. And if you want, you can go a little bit deeper. Like the glutes, the hamstrings can withstand quite a bit of stretching. So it should feel like a moderate to heavy stretch here in those hamstrings. But as long as that feels okay for your lower back. Breathe through it. Let the tension out of the shoulders. Letting that upper body weight drop downward toward the mat. Exhale. And gently release and slide up out of it. Let's stretch out those adductors. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. Place your hands just on top of your toes and then lift your chest up toward the ceiling, letting those knees drop down naturally toward the mat. Don't worry too much about the depth that the knees get down to. The main thing here is to feel that stretch through the inside of the thighs and to lift in that posture, keeping that back flat and the chest out. Try to relax your shoulders down, letting tension out of the neck. Breathing through it. And release. Let yourself round here and then come to a cross-legged position. We're going to stretch out the mid-back. Take the outside of your left hand and resist against the outside of your thigh, lifting the chest and rotating to that right side. Once again, imagining that string pulling your chest up toward the ceiling to help you sit up tall. Nice big exhale. Twisting through the spine and breathing evenly. And release. Let's take it over to the other side. Outside of the right hand, resisting against the outside of the thigh on the left side, lifting that chest up, sitting up as tall as you can. Nice big exhale, releasing that tension from the shoulders. And bring it back to center. From here, let's stretch out those shoulders. Bring the right arm across. Take your left arm, hook it inward. And now just gently pull in toward you. If you're not feeling much of a stretch here, sit up tall. Pull your chin back, almost like you're giving yourself a double chin. And just pull in just a little bit tighter. Lengthening through the front of the shoulder on that right side. Exhale. And release. Let's take it over to the other side. Bring that left arm across, hook it in with the right arm, pulling it toward you, lift your chest, gently pull your chin back and pull that arm in just a little bit tighter here, lengthening through that shoulder. Nice big exhale. And release that side. From here, let's stretch out the neck. Take your fingertips with your left hand and place them just above your ear on the right side and just gently guide the head downward to the side. We're not pulling, we're just adding a little bit of weight from the hand. Take your right hand now and pull it behind you at about a 45-degree angle, pressing your fingertips down toward the mat, lengthening through the side of the neck. Nice big exhale. Breathing deeply. And lift the head up, releasing that side. Take the fingertips of your right hand, place them just above the top of the ear on the left. And once again, just gently guide your head down. We're just adding a little bit of weight. Take your left hand, place it just behind you, lengthening through the fingers, lengthening through the side of the neck. Nice big inhale and exhale, breathing through it. And release. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. We're all done for today. Thanks for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you again soon.